is the Albert Mohler Program, your place for intelligent Christian conversation about the issues that matter. Russell Moore. Dr. Moore is Dean of the School of Theology at the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary and Director of the Carl Henry Institute for Evangelical Engagement. Today, Dr. Russell Moore.
Albert Mohler is at the lake, probably listening to his iPod on his stereo system, and is probably opera. Have you listened to any contemporary hip-hop music, contemporary rap music? And if so, what do you hear there? What do you think? Hey, you know what? If we just listened to what's being said here, we might know a little bit better how to preach, how to teach, how to counsel, how to evangelize. What can we learn as the church by listening to what's being said and what's being sung about in hip-hop music? Is there anything that we can do to listen to this, and can we use this vehicle, hip-hop music, rap music, can we use that for the gospel? And I'll tell you, I first heard Flame several years ago when a former student of mine who's a pastor in Missouri, in St. Louis area, he said, you've got to listen to this song about the Trinity. So I listened. He gave me on a CD that he had burned this rap song about the Trinity. I did not know the artist. I remembered that he told me that his name was Marcus, and so I just have in my iPod Marcus, and I didn't know the name of the song, so I just named it Trinity Rap. But I have that thing. It's on my top 25 most listened to songs, that I listen to the thing all the time. It may be the only rap song in the world with the words hypostatic union in it to hear and to listen to the theological depth that's involved in this song and the conviction that's there. And so I'm really glad to meet Flame, who also is a student. Now, Flame, we're going to talk about in a few minutes the way that you have taken that medium and communicated through it with the gospel of Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. I want to know, do you think that he ought to be doing that? Do you think that you can put the gospel in that kind of a medium without changing the message in some way? Are you ready for rap? He does songs about hermeneutics, rap music about hermeneutics. You just think about that one for a few minutes, about the Trinity and about the Trinitarian councils of the early church, about redemption and fall, creation, about all of these themes in the Scripture. What I want to know from you is, do you think that we as Christians are doing enough to speak cross-culturally, contextually, through the medium of rap music?
Yeah, basically, when you look at any culture or genre of music, it's my opinion and stance that nothing is inherently evil and beyond redemption. Mm-hmm. I think there are elements of hip-hop that aren't redeemable that we should leave to the side, such as the arrogance and some of the boastfulness, and some of the inappropriate dress. Like, some of those elements should be left behind. However, I do believe there are aspects of the culture that are redeemable, and once it's yielded to the lordship of Christ, it could be a very powerful medium. So normally it's just people haven't seen an example of it that really makes sense or looks consistent with a biblical worldview, so they're normally turned off by it.
Welcome back to the Albert Mohler Program. This is Russell Moore sitting in for Albert Mohler, and we're talking today about hip-hop music, and I am here with recording artist Flame, who is presenting the gospel, and not just the gospel. His music is not just, here's a message about how you ought to get saved and you ought to live a moral life. It really is deeply theological and is very subtle and nuanced and complex in a way that I think really communicates well what the gospel is speaking about. And we're talking about this issue of hip-hop music. What can we learn by listening to it? This is Russell Moore sitting here with Flame, and this is the Albert Mohler Program. We have Tina on the line. Tina, what do you think about this issue?
My son is 16, and part of my problem is I can't get past the angry, the way, the tone of voice, and then also just the imagery of it. Mm-hmm. But then, like I said, my son said it's really good, so I'm going to go through and listen to it. But the other thing I was thinking about, too, was is that I think that, like Sheila said, kind of it opens up that door where he hasn't really been exposed to hip-hop. Somebody gave him this, and it's really good. So now he thinks it's okay to kind of listen to, like, the subtle things like, Soulja Boy. It's not bad, but it's not good. So it's kind of like, I think we have to kind of be careful with that, because it's like, up until somebody introduced him into, like, I guess it's gospel rap or whatever, he didn't really listen to it. But now all of a sudden it's like, the records kind of come out far and few between. And in the meantime, he listens to the subtle stuff that everybody else is listening to. But if you were to pick up his MP3 player, a lot of his friends are amazed at most of the artists that he has on there are rap artists that are Christians. But then there's also the secular on there too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. Tina says, Flame, you might be a gateway drug to something worse. What do you think about that? I mean, that's a good question.
Yeah,
you got a kid who starts listening to Christian-oriented rap music, and then he keeps moving on through. Do you think that's something that we ought to be concerned about?
Yeah, that's probably one of the rare times I've heard that comment, and I mean, I can't say that it's not true because she's telling me that that's her experience. But I think one of the things too that is very powerful is seeing Christian rap as a ministry from the local church, but the lyrics and the content. So you're seeing in the music we're promoting a relationship with Christ through the gospel. So not just leaving them to the music to just kind of like it and then also have a love for secular rap music, but helping them see the whole gospel through, the local church. So I think it's, parents should be involved.
Flame, what would you say to a local church that said, I want to reach the kids in my neighborhood who are listening to hip-hop music and I don't know how to do it?
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say create a ministry. Get someone who is, serious about the gospel, filled with the Spirit and wisdom, that has a high standard for, the rap music and good quality, and begin to train up other young men who come out of the rap culture, teach them how to communicate the gospel, teach them, and cultivate in them how to love people and do ministry. And you can start a local ministry right at home and watch the Lord use it. I've seen it done.
Flame, thank you for being on the Albert Mohler Program.
Yes.
Godspeed to you as you preach the gospel.
Likewise.